Well, it's around that time right here on KAZ Radio, where we have one of the most hottest shows every single Thursday at 8 p.m. None other than We've Got Issues with those two crazy guys, Don and Mike. Take it away, Don and Mike.
Everybody, welcome to We've Got Issues. Come say it again. Welcome to We've Got Issues.
One more time, y'all.
We've got issues. Okay, you know, we're never off because everybody got issues. And like my sister who is here, graced us with her presence tonight. This is my sister Andrea Boggs. She told me that I love the name of your show, but remember, if you have an issue and it's not you, then the issue is you. So I just wanted to.
That's not what she said.
No. It's Thursday. Sorry, give me a break. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. Remember, the call-in number tonight is 216-298-1554. Thank you for tuning in on all the platforms that we have. Let's start the show like we always do, in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for today. We ask that you complete the work that you've begun in each of us. Let us see as you see and do as you say. Amen.
Amen.
All right.
Again, thanks for tuning in. Mike, take it away, man. Give it to us, Mike.
Well, you know, this is, I don't have a theme for this show, but it's called We've Got Issues for a reason. There's a lot of issues going on today.
Exactly.
I just want to just jump right into my main issue today, which is the Senate hearings for the Supreme Court.
Why did you choose that, Mike? It's only been on all the TV stations.
Yeah, well,
it looks like they got more coverage than the OJ trial.
Well, here's the thing. So Brett Kavanaugh is going through these Senate hearings to become the next Supreme Court justice. And 3 women have come out and accused him of sexually molesting them at some point in his life. I think one was in college, one was in high school, and one may have even been before that or after high school. He today, during the hearings, was very disrespectful.
And evasive.
And
shiesty. I'm sorry, that's not the sound effect.
And he
Grimy is the word.
Grimy. Go ahead, King. I'm sorry.
And he said, you know, he was basically, whenever a Democratic senator was questioning him, he was, like Don said, he was evading the questions. He never gave a straight answer. He denied. You know, I'm kind of sick of the alternative facts and all the shenanigans that are going on in Congress and in the White House these days.
You know, Mike, listen, I know you have your MBA, but I think that you might have been a preacher in another life, because keep on preaching.
I could be.
Keep on preaching.
And what's real interesting about this week is
sir.
that one of my favorite comedians, Bill Cosby, went to jail. They sentenced him for 3 to 10 years. And here's the thing about Cosby. Okay, he admitted to doing it, but he admitted it to doing the crime in a sealed document. So basically, he paid off a woman during that testimony.
He paid off 40 women, over 25.
During that time, he during the deposition, he admitted to doing it. Mm-hmm. And that was a sealed document.
So, Mike, with the sealed document, it should not have been admissible? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, it shouldn't have been open.
It shouldn't have been open because it's sealed.
And so the only evidence against him, were the women that accused him and what he said in that sealed document that should never have been open. So I have an issue with that. So
I have
now,
a complete issue with that. You're right.
Turning back to Mr. Kavanaugh, these women have accused him over a long period of time of molesting him. So, you know, I think we should start a new movement. You know, you got the Me Too movement.
Yes, Me Too.
I think we should start the You Too movement.
You too.
Cosby goes to jail. You too get to go to jail.
And talk about the hair. And
without any evidence. But,
I love You Too.
In all seriousness, I think that the allegations alone should cause for an FBI investigation.
I agree.
And if the FBI investigates, let's see what happens. Let's see where the chips fall.
Mike, that's an excellent issue, man. I just want to add to that. Listen, Donald Trump has picked 28 people in his cabinet since he's been in office for a little bit more than a year. Out of those 28, 12 are left. The point I'm making is that's 16 people that have just quit or you're fired. He's treating the presidency like The Apprentice. Okay.
Yeah.
With that being said, This is the Supreme Court, dude. Right. This is a lifetime position. Right. You ain't interviewing this. You're not interviewing somebody for something that. This is an interview that when you get confirmed, this is a lifetime appointment.
And if that's the case, at the very least we can do is do an investigation and see. Because do we really want someone who pulls his junk out and puts it in a woman's face, molested some women? Do we really want him in a robe?
Sounds like a priest from the Catholic Church.
The last thing we should want to do is give this guy a robe.
Exactly. And here's the thing, Mike, you're so on point with this. For the rest of his life.
Right.
And, which is just like a Catholic priest.
Right.
Hey, same thing.
Right. If it's true.
Why would these women, and
if it's not true,
Mike, well, what do you think about, and you too, Andrea, what do you guys think about right now, it's a Republican-run Senate. For those of us who know and don't know, there's two, each state has 2 senators, right? So it's 100 total.
Yes.
Right? 2 from one Democrat, one Republican from every state, right? For years we had John Glenn and Metzenbaum, whatever. The point I'm making here is this. They want to rush it through. You called for an FBI investigation. If you're getting an appointment for life to this highest court in the land, shouldn't there be an investigation? Why would these women come forward if it wasn't the truth?
And here's the thing about them coming forward. So they say that this was planned, that they're just trying to derail this nominee. Why would they put themselves through this? This lady, she's a professor.
Yes, psychology professor.
Has gotten death threats. Had to move out of her house. She's she's basically, her whole life has been turned upside down again.
To tell the truth.
If this has happened.
Yes.
Right.
And why would she risk all that?
Yeah,
Andrea, why would you think she would risk all that?
I mean, that's just a touchy situation.
Yes. That's the whole problem. He was touching on it.
That's what I'm talking about. Get it? Touchy situation.
Yes.
So,
excellent
and my understanding of United States of America.
Yes.
Just us.
Yes.
Is it just y'all?
Right.
Or is it just us?
Right.
So I don't see the we in that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So with that being said, I'm just like, he needs to be accountable.
Right.
And accountable meaning there needs to be investigation.
And they're trying to push it through. They're trying to vote tonight.
Yeah.
But they act like everything is okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we look at, and you talked about Bill Cosby. So he got 3 to 10.
Yes.
Okay, and they went way back from I don't know how many years. Over 25 years?
They went back to I Spy.
It was over 40 years.
I Spy came out in the early, we were 3 and 4 years old when I Spy came out.
So there's no limitation.
No.
So why is he not being indicted?
I agree. Listen.
So that's where we talk about all the way across the board.
Right.
Just us. And when I'm saying just us, it ain't just us. It's
mean
just y'all. So justice don't stand for everybody.
So do you mean,
it's not equal.
So
it's just y'all.
Do you mean justice or just us?
Just us.
Excellent.
Yeah, we're extinct. It's just us.
Right.
It ain't nothing about you. All the minorities is nothing.
Right.
It's just us.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it don't pertain to us.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
So that makes you feel some type of way.
So that's an excellent point, Andrea. And I'll tell you something, guys. Here's the thing. If you go back several years to the last time this sort of thing happened, there was Anita Hill and Clarence Thomas. And one of our producers, Veronica, was saying offline the other day that Anita Hill was strong. You feel me? She was strong today, and her testimony a few years ago against Clarence Thomas. Well, I believed Anita Hill, and I also believed Blasey Ford. I believe Blasey Ford because she was breaking down. She was real. You could see it. If you have any modicum of a sense of self and truth and understanding, she took a lie detector test as well. Listen, the bottom line is you can tell when somebody is BSing you, right?
Right.
I could see the truth coming through her, and so my gut says I believed her. The point I'm making is you have so much to lose. And so why would she go through all of this if it wasn't true?
Right.
And the humiliation.
Yes.
Just bringing that back.
Just to bring the truth. Yes. You relive it over and over.
You're reliving that trauma.
And since you brought Anita Hill and Clarence, whatever.
Sellout Thomas. Thomas.
Yeah. If you since you brought that up, let's keep it real. Both of them testified. Both of them said 100% that she said that he did it.
Is there room for any error with 100%, Mike?
He said that she didn't do it. And so if that's the case, one of them was lying. and if you lie before the Senate,
that's perjury.
It's either it's two crimes. So you're going to get hit with one or the other.
Right.
And neither one has been accused yet. And on top of that, a lot of the people that knew Clarence Thomas and that knew Anita Hill, that worked with them, colleagues of them, said that Anita Hill was telling the truth after this was all.
Again, when you had, listen, I watched it, it was on TV all day today, Mike. It's an excellent point because, again, it goes back to why would you come out and say this? You watch the people, the congressmen and the senators that interviewed her today. Kamala Harris was the only one that I saw that was a woman, and Feinstein. They tried to rip Feinstein apart as well.
They tried to rip her
apart. The point I'm making is...
Well, they said she leaked all the information.
Yeah, right, of course they're going to say that. But the point I'm making is, when you know the truth, and it's the truth, you're going to go up against all kinds of different odds. And you're going to, and everybody's going to believe the opposite.
And if he is truly telling the truth, then why not call for an investigation himself?
Exactly.
He knows he didn't.
You a judge for goodness sake. You're already a judge.
Right.
Right.
Right. You should hit the gavel and be like, let's take it to this. What? Come on.
Yeah. I mean.
You know, so that's a big issue. I like that.
So call in if you got opinions.
What side do you weigh on
about that?
Right.
Let us know how you feel. The number is 216-298-1554, 216-298-1554. Check us out on KAZ Radio TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, Apple TV, and Roku TV.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Mike, listen, the funny thing about that, not funny, but the thing about this is killing me is that it's going to take it back to Roe v. Wade. That's really the outcry. If this guy gets into it, he's going to get confirmed. I'm saying it right now into the camera. He is going to get confirmed. There's never not been a Supreme Court justice that has not been confirmed. Ask Clarence Thomas and Anita Hill. Okay, the point I'm making to you is this. This guy is that guy. Now there's 9 justices, right? You're going to have 5 that are able to roll back it in. So even if you do something.
No, you already got 5, don't you?
Yeah, well, no.
Because this is the second one that or is this the third one?
This is the third.
That he's putting in office. So it was already like 5-4 or 4-5.
Right, he's a swing vote.
And so they are in the majority.
So exactly. So the story here is that you got Roe v. Wade, which is a woman's right to choose. Okay,
and that's coming up for.
And how should that ever even come up?
Right.
Period. How can you tell a woman whether you can have your baby or not? Well, that's how conservative that this stuff can be with this guy. So it has a lot of, for lack of a better phrase, big time ramifications once this guy gets in. He's going to get in. He's going to get in. So, Andrea, it's good to have you back on the show. Last time we saw you, it was chopping up. We was taking over from Minister T.C. Carter, my frat bro A5. And you have what's your issue for this week? Any issues that you have other than you told me, she said that she hates construction. My sister's a social worker, so she's always socially working with folks, and she got to drive around and do so. So her issue is always construction. You have any other issues?
No, the issue is me, right? That's what I always know. So I have to look in the mirror. It starts and begins with me. Mm-hmm. You know, caller.
Oh, yeah. No, not a caller. That's Larry's wife calling saying bring something home on the way home.
Okay.
But you're right, you know. So I was going to say to you that obviously this has been a month of, now we're into the Libra part of it.
The what part of it?
The Libra part. He's a Libra.
That's a great.
Whatever.
But
But earlier in the month we had a Virgo, so I want to say a happy belated birthday to my sister on the air. Happy belated birthday. Mm-hmm. You know we love you.
I'm finally a senior citizen.
Yes, whatever. Mike, you touched on Bill Cosby, and that's my issue. My issue is this. I was talking to several friends of mine, and I said, can you separate the actor and all the good that he's done from this heinous crime that he's in jail for now? So I am not grappling with it. I'm actually watching more of the Cosby Show. I'm going to go get Uptown Saturday Night. I'm going to go get Let's Do It Again because
don't
get a piece of the action. My point is, does it change the dynamic
Absolutely
of how you think of that particular person?
Absolutely.
Does that make any sense?
Absolutely not. My thing is, if he actually did this, then it was heinous, and he's going to pay by doing the time. Mm-hmm. That does not negate all the work he's done over the years.
So would you say, Mike, that he's done more good than bad?
Absolutely.
Which one?
More good.
More good.
Yeah.
I mean, I still like Jell-O pudding. I don't know what to tell
He's
y'all.
still my favorite dad on TV.
What? It's definitely not. It's not Cunningham from Happy Days. I can tell you that.
No.
So let me ask you. You know, it's interesting when you think about it to see Bill Cosby in handcuffs. And I will say this: I don't care if you're Kevin Hart, Steve Harvey, Denzel Washington. Listen, if they take down Bill Cosby, nobody's safe. No one's safe. They're already.
I don't know about that. There's some people that have
they
been
say-
taken down.
Oh yeah, Snoop is safe because he's a snake.
No, I'm talking about what's the guy Weinstein?
Yeah, they still haven't touched him
Right.
yet.
They haven't touched him, and all
Right.
these producers and directors. And,
Moonves, the one that
Yeah.
the president of CBS, they
yeah,
haven't taken him down
touched
yet.
touched any of them.
His
so
wife-
let's see what again. The U2 movement needs to start.
Yeah, right. Trump's
Right.
in that. He's
So when we gonna get that started? Should we start up a petition?
Right, we need
Y'all
to do
call
something.
in. Yeah, let
Call
us
in.
know.
Let's get
Should we
started with the
get
YouTube
started with the
movement.
So my
YouTube
thing is,
movement?
here's my thing too. They turned it, and I wrote this down in my notes. Bill Cosby is a sexually violent predator.
And they also said that he will do it again.
Right. At 81.
That-
81
that-
years old.
81.
Come
I like
on
to
now.
see that. Now that's
He
must
can barely
be-
move, right?
Right.
But
Come
I mean,
on, man.
Come on, man.
now.
Be
My,
for
my
real.
issue is this. It does come down to the fact that, you know, they build you up to tear you down. But here's my thing. They want us to think that a person's body of work, once that scandal hits or whatever it may be, because we all have skeletons in our closets, and some people got these bigger celebrities got real big closets, so they got a lot of skeletons, right? The point I'm making is, some people are boycotting Bill Cosby. They don't watch the shows. They don't. He's in a lot of ways. People are following. They're letting his incarceration take away that all the good that he's done, Mike.
Yeah, well, you know, those are probably the same people that are saying that Trump is a great president.
Wow, got no issue with that. Andrew, what do you think about him? What's your take on Bill Cosby's legacy in addition to this?
I don't know if I even want to comment on that. I mean, because it's really deep. I mean,
It is.
it's deep on both levels. I mean, you did such great work, but he's only human.
Right.
It's like cast the first stone if you ain't seeing, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
You guys ever seen
So
the
everybody, people fall short, and when we begin to put people on pedestals, it becomes a problem.
That's right.
But the bottom line is, for me, where the issue lies for me, is that when we talk about the land of the free, is that why is not justice all the way across the board?
Say that again, say
and
that
so
again. Land of the
why
free.
in the land of the free, we are just ostracized.
Right.
It's like a seesaw, and we up in the air, right?
I'm going to pay for you and Mike to go to divinity school and come to y'all church.
It's called
Y'all
the
preach.
land of some free.
Right. And so it just breaks my heart. It's so much. It's just too much
Yeah.
to grasp my head around.
Yeah.
And everybody is just thriving to get over here in America. You know, matter of fact, other people from other countries have more opportunity than we here do.
Right.
We got people over here starving. We giving all this money
That's right.
to these other people.
That's right.
Imagine the wall, for instance. We're going to talk about that wall that we're going to spend all this money for.
Right.
To
The
tear-
one
the-
that he promised the Mexicans were going to pay
Yeah,
for.
yeah,
Did-
yeah.
did-
There you
did-
go.
Yeah.
So,
That's
you know,
not
I
happening.
mean,
So I guess
It's
what I'm
just
saying, I
ridiculous.
guess what I'm thinking about it too is that, do you think also that in America, this is a bigger issue for me, Andrea and Mike, a bigger issue for me is that, do you think that that we put too much emphasis, or America, I call it the diversion, you know, let's blow up some over here while we go rob the bank. So everybody's focusing on that bomb that's going off, or that fire, and you're doing that. Do you think that we put too much emphasis on the celebrity aspect of what we see? In other words, hey, we look at Denzel, and we're looking at these actors, and then that celebrity aspect of it, as opposed to looking at what's really, really, really going on. Do you think that has something to do with it? I know Bill Cosby is Cliff Huxtable.
Well,
Not
I
for
do
me,
it.
it doesn't. I think what's really more glaring is that we have Agent Orange in the White House right now.
He's not talking about the Vietnam stuff that they used in Vietnam to clear out the troops.
Yeah.
You know, y'all seen Forrest Gump, and Forrest Gump saved everybody, and then the fire
Germ
came in.
warfare,
Right.
right.
So you're talking about 45, right?
Agent Orange is,
that's a good one, dude.
so what happens?
Donald Trump for all of you lay people.
So what happens is that while he tweets everybody and goes
And what does
after
he tweet?
everybody.
Ain't he too busy running the free world to tweet? What is that about?
Well, as he goes after everybody for disagreeing with him,
Right.
he then turns around and undercover has these bills signed. He lowers the budgets in different areas without any of us paying attention to that. He uses divergence
every day.
All the
all
time.
the time since
Every
he's been
day.
in office
Every
to get
day.
things passed.
Master
and
deceit.
most of us are not paying attention.
Not paying
Right.
attention. Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, man, we're fed a certain diet of certain things. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. Whether you want to get fat on that or not is up to you. We tend to have issues with it, don't we?
Right.
216-298-1554. We're going to keep moving on. So let me ask you this. How do you guys think this thing, from what was going on all the news stations today, let's move it forward. We know this guy is going to get confirmed. It has not
I'm not claiming that.
It doesn't. Listen, they're going.
I'm not putting that out there.
I'm not putting it out there, but I'm just going off the track record, Mike. I agree with you. I'm going off the track record. So my point is, what do we do? We've marched with Ferguson. We've marched on Washington. We've marched. We've got all of that, all of the stuff that we do to protest what's going on in America, rights and wrongs. Like you said, justice, no, just us, and it's just them, whatever. And right now with this thing with this Blasey Ford, and we know that she was telling the truth. Why would she be there to just rip her whole life apart on national TV and in front of the world if it wasn't true? Is it going to change? Can we expect any kind of change? There's been no changes in the marches. There's been no changes. Nothing. Cops. What? The last show we did, a white lady walked into the wrong apartment building and shot her brother. And then they went into his apartment with a search warrant and found some weed, and that's all they're talking about. She's out on bail.
So what's going on?
Is it going to change?
She
should have lost her job. She could have.
Took her a while to get there, but
Right.
here's the thing.
She was
She should be going to jail.
Thank you.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I don't care about her losing her job.
Yes.
I want to know, what did she get? Did she get her pension? Did she get her benefits?
And unpaid administrative leave.
Well, no, she
got fired now.
She got fired now. That does signal something though.
Okay.
That the police department in Dallas, whatever suburb she was in, is not backing her.
Yeah.
Because if they were backing her,
the mayor came out
they would have
against her.
circled her.
Yeah, they would have circled. They would have closed
been
ranks. They
protected.
would have closed
They
ranks.
rallied around her. Right.
So we'll see what happens. She may come up on charges.
Yeah.
That's the hope at least.
I hope so as well. But that's a hot button issue, and it's still going to play out. I am saddened, but I'm happy that we have this vehicle to at least voice our issue.
Right.
And whoever's in there in the earshot, radio shot, internet shot, we'd like to hear your issue as well.
Yeah, even if you disagree with us.
Yeah, especially
talk
if
it
you
out.
disagree. How many? We look for disagreeers.
Right.
216-298-1554. I wanted to move on a little bit too, Mike. I wanted to pass it back to you. We were doing something the other day, and we were talking about different parts of the show. And back then, we were on WERA 1490, Mike. We were talking about, we used to have when certain things happen in the media. There was one issue that sort of touched base to me, and I know you used to be a teacher, and you're still a teacher, whatever. You were teaching in Houston in particular. There's a girl, her name is India Landry. You guys should check this out. And this goes back to you having the issue for the last 3 shows, Mike, about Colin Kaepernick and the Just Do It. And I know you want to, and we're going to segue into what you were telling me earlier when we were planning the show. This girl, in the state of Texas, every single day, all high schools, elementary schools, and the state of Texas, they stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, India Landry has sat down for the Pledge of Allegiance 200 times in the last year, in the last school year in 2017. So 6 different teachers. She's sat for 200 times. Well, she was in the principal's office for whatever reason, and of course the principal is leading her name is Martha Struthers, the principal in this school in Houston, was going over the Pledge of Allegiance. Of course, the girl sat down, and they expelled her right after that. Now, for not towing the line, for not standing. She had not stood for 200 times prior to that. But this principal expelled her, and she's been expelled. They're taking that to the Supreme Court within the next 18 months. Now, the point I'm making is, I guess what I'm trying to say is this. Do you think, going back to the Kaepernick thing, do you think if this is American Beauty, if it is our rights, if it is liberty and justice for all, what's your take on this? 200 times no teacher did anything, but when she went to the principal's office, the principal expelled her right away.
Well,
is that a violation of her rights?
I think so, but let me just clear one thing up, because you tied in the Kaepernick thing. Mm-hmm. Kaepernick never kneeled over the national anthem or the Pledge of Allegiance. His kneeling was
police
to
brutality.
bring awareness about police brutality against black and brown.
How did Trump turn it into? A disrespect to the flag.
Trump and the media.
Right, a disrespect to the flag.
Disrespect to the flag. So I think they have a great case. I can't imagine if it goes that far to the Supreme Court that they would say that she was wrong.
The Houston Chronicle said.
I think what happens though? I mean, does she get monetary damages or?
They're taking out. The Houston Chronicle said that the teacher, the principal, who expelled her immediately, was whipped into a frenzy by all the NFL news at this time because they've expelled her. This is her senior year. So she was whipped. I have it here in my quote. She was whipped into a frenzy by all of the news about the NFL protests at that particular time. That's the principal. That's why she expelled her.
You know, it's sad that in 2018, that when someone does something that is a certain color, that we start making excuses for them. Oh, they were stressed out. Oh, they had a bad day at work. Oh, they hit their knee on the bed as they got up this morning.
Well, what makes them different, though?
Well, what makes them different?
The difference?
But if something happens to us, it's like, oh, he was smoking marijuana. Let's go find the weed in his house.
Yeah,
he was high. He was disrespecting the police. He wasn't obeying commands.
Right.
So it's always a different narrative when it happens to black and brown people than when it does to some of our Caucasian friends.
Do you think she should have gotten expelled? Do you think she should have gotten expelled?
Expelled.
Yes. 200 times prior to that.
I don't think she should have been suspended.
I didn't even, because on what grounds?
Right.
Thank you.
On what grounds? You have that constitutional right.
Right.
If you're taking taxes out of my check, I can say whatever the blink I want.
But here's the other thing.
Go ahead.
You got Asians, you got Hispanics, you got Indians. You know, all these kids are going to American schools.
Yes.
Maybe they don't want to pledge allegiance to this flag.
I'm Jehovah's Witness. That stops me right there.
I mean, every year we have the St. Patty's Day, and what do they fly around on St. Patty's Day every year? The Irish flag.
And they drink from 6 in the morning to midnight.
We had a feast in Little Italy. What do they fly around? The Italian flag.
Yes.
You know, so pledging allegiance?
Cut it out. So what do you think that her constitutional rights were violated on this, or do you think?
Absolutely.
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 I feel the same way.
Now, here's since you brought up Brother Kaepernick, I do have some good news.
I know I want to hear that by Reed. Can we have some good news?
Let's switch to some good news,
please.
So Colin Kaepernick took the knee 2 years ago. One of his teammates, Eric Reed, also took a knee. Well, Eric Reed was a free agent, one of the top free agents over the summer, and he didn't get a job. Today, he signed with the Carolina Panthers. So Kaepernick tweeted him, hey, congratulations to my brother.
Yeah.
You know, keep doing what you're doing, show out, you know, all that.
Right.
So but my question is this. How does that affect, because Eric Reed and Colin Kaepernick both had...
Right there together.
Well, they both had a collusion lawsuit against the NFL.
Okay.
So how does that affect that lawsuit now?
Interesting.
Wow.
Because Eric Reed is employed now.
Right, he's employed.
Yes.
So hold on, I'm going to ask, so I'm going to be Kaepernick and you be Eric Reed.
Right.
And so you just got a job and I didn't. I'm like, bruh, what's going on? That's why you sold me out. What's going on?
Well,
I don't know. I'm just saying. What do you?
I don't know if
what do you think would happen?
How would you take that stance?
I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate. But I don't think Kaepernick is as happy as Eric Reed. Do you?
Absolutely is.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So would you say this then, that paves the way? Let me ask you this. Would you guys be surprised if Kaepernick did get a job in the NFL, which he deserves? Would you be surprised at this point?
Yes.
So you don't think he'll get back in the NFL?
I don't. I think he's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately. And not because of his skill set, because I think out of the 90 to 100 quarterbacks in the league, he's better than 2/3 of them.
Easily.
Easily.
Easily. I mean, and that's the whole thing. When it comes down to talent, I don't care if you were Dennis Rodman. You can say whatever you want to say. He looked crazy, but the boy got 15 rebounds a day,
Right.
15 rebounds a game. I don't care if he wore a wedding dress in the Chicago Bulls. Listen, the boy, talent is talent.
Right.
If you got
And
talent,
here's the
you
thing,
don't stop it.
The NFL touts that we put the best athletes on the team every year. That's their mantra.
That's their mantra.
And so,
Hey, man, they got Sunday.
So are they really doing that though?
I'm gonna have to say no,
Right.
based on that. You know, that's something else to be played out. I want to go back just very quickly because to me, I don't think we really understand, or really it doesn't resonate with the idea of an iconic figure like a Bill Cosby. As all I can say to you guys is this: did it, do it or not? His body of work. He didn't do it to me. I'm on all the great things that he did, from Fat Albert to Electric Company to all this great stuff that he's done. And I think that at the end of the day, so far in this movement, I've seen him do the same thing with Michael Jackson. He was not convicted. All of our people that go through this stuff of color, I just don't feel like, not only is it not a fair shot, but I want people to understand that you should look at the body of work and what that person meant to you and what they gave as their gift. And so I guess what I'm really thinking, Mike, is who's next? And that just stays in the back of my mind. Who's next? And after Bill Cosby, to me, there's nobody that's safe. I don't care. I just don't. Who's next? And so it just bothers me because listen, we've lost Aretha Franklin, Prince, Michael Jackson, and James Brown. Use those as a four. And now you've got Bill Cosby torn down. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, man, if I was a celebrity, I wouldn't do nothing wrong. I'm just trying to do everything from church. They're going to get me. I just don't know what to tell you. It bothers me. It bothers me.
Again, U2 movement, let's get it going.
Right.
Because there are some people that are safe out there.
Yeah.
It just ain't us.
It's just and there we go.
Absolutely.
Hey, Mike, we were talking about some other good news, and we were talking a little bit about, I don't want to call it, we just want to call it, what were you thinking? We'll call it that. Before we get there, let's close out. Go ahead.
Let's keep it going with some good news.
Yes, that's what I mean. Go ahead.
Okay, so we have our own Cleveland Indians.
Cleveland Indians, baby.
Division champs for the third year in a row.
1, 2, 3, and Pastor James, we see you with that Indians. I see you. He's repping the Indians right now.
And we're getting ready for the playoffs.
Yes.
And we got 3 30 home run guys on our 30 home run plus guys on our team.
In the history of the, forget Kenny Lofton, forget Albert Bell, forget Jim Thome. This is the first time in Indians history.
We begging the pitchers to pitch over the plate.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And these boys is switch hitters, so it don't make no difference whether it's left or right.
That's right. And then on top of that, I'm kind of excited about basketball season this year.
I am too.
I know we lost the King, and I'll always. Give him
he had
his
to go help
props.
out LA, man. You got to go help out LA.
LeBron James is hands down the greatest player to ever play the game. Period. End of story.
Dot.
He had me at Cleveland. This is for you.
Right. And if you go by his body of work on the court and his body of work off the court.
Say that last one.
You better say
body
that.
of work.
Say that.
You can't. Michael Jordan can't touch him.
Michael Jordan owns prisons, and he raised the price of tennis shoes from $40 to $250. I rest my case.
Also, so there's some buzz about the Cavs today.
Okay.
So I guess Tristan Thompson made the comment.
Tristan Thompson, Tristan Thompson. My bad.
He said that we are the Eastern Conference champs, and you got to come through us.
Last 4 years
to get to the championship.
That's the truth, ain't it?
And so some Phillies players tweeted back. Ben Simmons said something, and I think Marquise, whichever one of them twins they got.
Whatever they got,
He said, and Ty Lue tweeted in as well, and he said, forget that, man. Y'all might well get your bags packed for early dismissal. dismissal.
They going fishing? Are they going fishing? They going fishing.
He said they're going
Yeah,
fishing.
They going fishing.
Right.
So I like the back and forth.
I do too. I do
And-
too.
And I'm excited because, you know, one of the big knocks on LeBron James is that he was a ball hog.
Right.
And so now we have the opportunity to let these young guys play. They're showing interest in Jimmy Butler coming here. You know, we'll see what happens. And Hassan Whiteside is another name that's been popping up.
And we got to go back down to the Q, man. They've been closed for all summer, so the renovations to the Q are
Oh, that's
miraculous.
right.
That's a big time, man. October's
Right?
blowing up.
But
They
they
got,
added more seats to sell.
yeah, they
Yeah.
exactly. But you're right, you know.
Sorry, Dan.
But you're
now we
right.
can
But,
get one.
but
Right.
you're right. You're right because think about it, guys. The Indians have been great for a long time. I
Right.
remember a few games last year, man. Indians were in the World Series and the Cavs are right there as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
The Browns are now doing well. We have to give it up for the Browns, Mike.
Oh,
They
yes,
won their
yes,
first
yes.
game.
Well, you know, I was saving the best for last
Right,
because
right,
this
right.
is a Browns town.
Yes, it is.
You know, so let's not get it twisted. LeBron may have brought a championship home, but the Browns brought 10
It's the
back
Browns,
in the day.
baby.
Yes, they did. They
So,
sure
you
did.
know, It's a Browns
Right.
town, and we are 1-1-1. How about that?
How
How about
that?
that? So, Andrea, what do you think? I want to ask you guys a quick question. When the Browns won, right? It was. I watched it on the Lester Holt on the night. It made national news, right?
Right,
Now,
right.
don't you guys? Do you think that there is a different dynamic when we won it? Everybody in the city is happier, treating each other better. Do you guys see that? Do you feel
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
it's a Browns town.
But you know, yeah, and we stick by our team. I don't
Yes.
care.
Right.
We losing, it be full, it be packed. We got diehard fans.
that? Real
here.
fans.
Right.
It's finna be on.
That's right. That's
We
right.
gonna beat y'all all across the
So,
board.
so
Right.
how about this?
Football, basketball, and baseball.
There
But
it
how
is.
about, how about this one now? We're playing the Oakland Raiders this week out in Oakland. They are 0-3. When's the last time that the 0-3 team wasn't us?
I'm going to say 1999, so that's 19 years. 19 years and counting.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
we're favored for the second week in a row. So.
That is something to
Yeah,
say.
so-
That is something to say.
We are not the mistake on the lake.
Exactly. Again, 216-298-1554. We got a plethora of issues. Please feel free to call in and join the show and join the conversation.
So so since we're talking Browns, what do you think our chances are this week? We're the 0-3 Raiders. Gruden has said that they're in desperate need of a pass rusher, which they had, and
Khalil Mack, they traded him.
Go. What kind of idiot move is that?
I don't know. I'm going to go back, Mike, to just finish off what I thought you were going to say. Was we did 3 weeks ago, Cleveland. We went through all of the season. All of the season. And you guys, I said that the Jets would win, that they would beat the Jets. And so you guys.
know we can go back to the recording, right?
Of course we can. You guys said they're going to beat Pittsburgh and they're going to beat New Orleans. Bottom line is this. I, right now, fully expect the Browns to take it to the Raiders. I picked that as a victory. So what do you
I'm
think?
going to have to agree with you. I think we go out there and I think we win big.
I
think
I
by
think
at
so too.
least,
Real big. 20.
Ooh.
At least, I think we win by at least 10.
10. What are yours?
I said 20.
20. Wow. All I want to say, just win. And I'll say this. We were watching the game on Mayfield Road when Baker Mayfield came in. So I look at Mayfield Road in a whole different special now, in a whole different way.
And let's not get too excited because here's the thing. When you come in off the bench and play, the team that you're playing hasn't really prepared for you.
Right, they have chances. Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I think we can catch the Raiders by surprise still because it's not a lot of body of work out there on them.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 or 3 games in,
Oh, they're gonna be
you're
coming.
gonna start
They're
seeing
gonna pin their ears
defenses
back. Yeah, they're gonna.
adjust.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
Exactly.
let's see how this kid
plays
plays.
out.
'Cause
Yeah.
I like him. I think he's. I think he got a lot of heart. I think he's very accurate with his throws. He can make all the throws. He's mobile. So I like him, and I just hope that it's not too early for him to seize the moment.
Yeah, like we've ruined the last
Okay.
10, 12 quarterbacks.
Right.
My question is, and Mike and Andrea, again, I want to just touch on this part. Listen, don't get it twisted. The Indians are in the playoffs a week from this past Monday. You
Is that
understand me?
right? Playoffs start next
The
week.
playoffs
Start
start a week.
next-
They start next week.
Okay.
So let's get behind the Indians right now.
Absolutely.
The Cavs play Boston the first game, by the way. So I want to take it to Kyrie and show him that we real Uncle Drew.
You're right.
I got a real Uncle Drew, Kyrie, if you're listening. Anyway, but shout out to Uncle Andrew. But my point I'm making is you're right, Mike. Sometimes the Indians can be under the radar, and they've been good for a very long time, for the last 4 or 5 years. They really have, and sometimes we don't. I can't tell you, man, the last time I've been to an Indians game. I haven't supported them.
Yeah, I can't remember. Either.
Right.
But I'm not a baseball guy either.
Right. I'm a baseball guy in the playoffs. Right.
I mean, it's hard sitting there for 9 innings and you're just doing this.
Yeah. I know, man. 3 outs. Hey, listen.
Yeah, I was volunteering, so it was real good. Right?
Anytime you're down there, you're always down there in a working capacity.
Right.
It was a lot easier to go when I was drinking.
Right, especially on dollar beer night and all that.
Right, and Dollar Dog.
Yeah, but get behind the tribe, people. Get behind the tribe, man.
Let's go
tribe.
tribe.
Go tribe.
Go try.
All right, Mike, we were talking about some stuff that we wanted to add to the show. We used to do this on our show back years ago when we were on WERE, and we would talk about how they do that. What were you thinking, or knuckleheads, whatever you want to call it.
I like to call this segment, since this is a new station.
Yes.
Let's call it Things That Make You Go, huh?
Yes. Things that make you go, huh? Like, what? Right. So I'm going to go first. Let me go first.
All right.
I'm going to go first. This particular incident took place 3 days ago in Colombia. Now, remember, Uber is worldwide, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So this took place in Colombia. Now, this particular couple, this woman, had been cheating on her husband for a year.
Wow.
Okay,
A whole year.
So they're cheating at his apartment, but he has a roommate, right, in Colombia. So then she said, well, let's go to the motel. Well, her husband is an Uber driver. You see where I'm going with this, right?
Right.
Her husband's an Uber driver, but she knows that, right? But this particular time, her husband was using his buddy's car and his buddy's account and basically driving like any on that particular shift. So they call the Uber driver, and the Uber driver picks him up to take him to the motel, and the woman and her their affair guy get into the back seat of the car.
Uber.
Of the Uber.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a
things that make you say,
that's a high moment.
Out of all the Uber drivers,
moment.
out of all the Uber drivers in the world, or in Colombia there, you get your husband. So here's your husband driving. You and your lover get in the back seat. So before I tell you guys the end of the story, do you have issue with that? I'll take that as a yes.
I couldn't even comment. Because all I could say is hold on.
Right.
Okay.
Clearly that wasn't thoughtful.
All right. I'll tell you what happened at the end. So, Mike, would you have issue with that?
Heck yeah.
Right.
Yes, I would.
If that ain't God trying to tell you something, I don't know what is.
And I tell you what I would do is that would be the last ride she takes.
So
it might be a long ride
yes.
to an alternate destination.
Yes. Right.
Things always come to light, right?
Yes,
All that darkness
they have been
always
cheating
come to light.
over a year, and think about that. Can you imagine? They just hop into and it was a different car as well because he was using his buddy's car.
Right.
So he has a whole different. He got his buddy's car, buddy's account. They hop in the back, and do you want to hear the end of this?
Sure.
Okay. Yes. The end of it was the husband got into a fight, and
With who?
the guy, the cheater.
Why?
Well, I am.
Yeah.
Well, not her, but
Right.
She's the issue.
She's the issue.
I'd have called the police.
Right. And she sides with the husband and says, beat his butt. So the husband proceeded to beat the lover.
Oh my goodness. Come
Can't
on,
make this up.
man.
What was the segment called again?
Come on, man.
What's the Oh, so wait a minute. Let me finish at the end of this. Let me finish the end of this. Uber in turn fired the husband and the guy he was driving for, because you can't obviously
change.
fight and you can't use that account.
Well, you can't
Yeah, you
fight.
can't.
You can't-
Obviously.
You
Period.
can't beat up customers.
Right.
But
Right.
You probably.
And you violated
But
something.
doesn't
And I've
it-
driven for Uber, so I'm pretty sure that I can't
Beat up the
I
passengers.
can't rent my car out like it's a taxi
Right.
and let someone else drive.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
think about the woman thinking quickly. She gets in the car, been cheating on her husband for over a year, people. She gets in the back seat, sees that her husband's driving. First of all, put yourself in her shoes. What was that feeling like right there, bro?
Lord Jesus, please forgive me. Please,
I don't know him.
I would have had to get some act right.
And the hotel was the destination.
Well, let's digress.
Well, we know where it was.
Let's digress because she's quick on her feet.
Very quick.
Because she thought of, hey, beat this guy's butt.
Right. Her husband
so
put
she turned it on him right away.
Right. And he got the brakes beat off of him. And I don't know if it's happily ever after, but again, Mike, that new segment is called what?
What the husband? Right, that should have been because what was the husband thinking?
Right.
Exactly.
So how about this one, y'all?
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I read today. So there's a man who was arrested at Dublin Airport in Ireland.
Okay.
Today for breaking onto the tarmac and chasing down a plane that he missed.
Stop.
He missed his flight.
Stop, Mike. We chase down buses. You chase down cars. You know, hey, a plane?
He's at. They say the plane's already gone. He breaks through the tunnel, gets out on the tarmac.
Can you say Howard being used to her? Stop. Ready?
I mean, if he would have caught the plane, what would he have done?
Tom Cruise hanging on like Mission Impossible.
He must have thought he was Bruce Willis.
He got his hair blew back, right? He would have been like, "Whoa."
So guess where he was going. Here's an interesting part. Now this guy is in his 20s. He was with a female who I'm assuming was also in her 20s.
Probably on the plane.
She did not run on the tarmac, but he did. And they were on their way to Amsterdam.
I wonder what they do in Amsterdam.
Yeah, you know, that's the...
I think drugs are legal, weed's legal, everything's legal, yeah.
Get high capital of the world. So he may have started early and thought that I can do this.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Where you at, baby?
Oh my goodness.
Nope.
Oh my goodness. I got one. Let me flip back.
All right.
Let me flip back to my Rite Aid. We all go to drugstores, right? Mm-hmm. This guy walks into a Rite Aid in Des Moines, Iowa, with the intention of robbing them, and he did. But you know, some of us carry small wallets. Some of us carry big wallets. Some of us, this guy had a very big wallet with a lot of business cards, whatever. So as he's jumping over there, we all have walked into drugstores. The automatic doors open, and there's the cashier register. That's the register that he jumped over. But as he tried to jump over it, his wallet got stuck on the back before he can get his feet down behind the cashier. So he takes his wallet out, sets it on the counter, robs them, and goes home. So as soon as he left with the car, the police was like, okay,
before he made it home.
Right.
Because you know he made a couple of stops.
Right. So he gets
now
home.
I'm gonna get my beer.
Right.
Let me stop getting my little sack.
Turned up, right?
Gotta get some Black and Mild.
Right. Rule number one, guy. Huh? Come on. Come on. So that's needless to say, he has been arrested.
Right. Okay.
Really?
I got a few more.
Okay, let's go.
It just gets better.
It just gets better. Right.
I really can't believe this many crazy things are happening. But there was a woman.
Okay.
Who was attempting the spicy food challenge.
Spicy
I don't know
food.
what that is. I know there was a ghost pepper challenge, but
and
this
why? This is going to be the best one of the night.
Yeah. So this is spicy food.
She was spitting
challenge.
that fire.
Okay.
She takes part in this challenge and winds up in the hospital for 4 days because she's bleeding from her backside. Ouch.
And that ain't her back, y'all. Yeah. That's a little bit lower.
Talking about setting a fire.
Right.
So wait, why would you enter a spicy food? I got to ask, did she win?
I don't know.
I mean, she lost because she
got a little hurt.
But I think Nelly was playing in the background. It's getting hot in here.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I got one more too. Now that's crazy. I mean, listen, she was hot fire.
Right.
I got one that the guy says this happened in Philadelphia. The guy was getting pulled over by a DUI. He had stopped and waiting for his friend to go to the bathroom in a gas station. I won't say the gas station or whatever. His friend is in the gas station. His friend, in the meantime, as he comes back from the gas station, saw a good friend, and he knew his buddy was drunk, right? So he went home with the friend, and he actually tapped on the window and said, I'm leaving, right? Anyway, the guy gets on the road, falls asleep at a red light. The cop that pulled him over the sirens going, get out your car with the microphone, nothing, right? So the cop comes around, sometimes the police officers want to come on the left, want to come on the right? So the police comes on the right side, opens up the passenger door, and gets in the passenger side with this inebriated gentleman in Philly, right? And the inebriated gentleman said, look, man, before I see the lights behind us, man, here, take this weed, take this open carry. And he's handing it right to the cop who got into the passenger side, right? So needless to say, what's the name of this segment? Right. So yes.
Oh my God, that reminds me of the story where
how drunk did you have to be for that?
The guy was driving drunk, and he drives on the sidewalk, and the cops pull him over, and they ask him, why are you driving on the sidewalk? He said, well, can't you see I'm too drunk to drive on the road?
That's a great answer. All
right, so, it wouldn't be a show if we didn't throw some shade at Michigan, right?
Yes, it would be a show.
It is football season.
It is football season.
So there is apparently a bar in Auburn Hills, Michigan.
Hey.
Okay.
That allows its drinking customers to throw axes.
In unison.
So you've heard of people throwing darts.
Darts,
Right.
I played darts.
They
Yeah.
have
I love darts.
Axe throwing bar.
So first of all, hold on, Mike. This is not going to go well. Bar and axes, it don't make
drinking,
sense.
right?
Drinking.
Right.
So apparently the liquor control panel in Michigan found out about this and
Immediately.
and not the police or any law enforcement, real
Not the
law
ones that can
real.
stop it.
right, but they shut the bar down.
They're buying a lot of liquor and they throwing
because
axes.
They didn't tell them when they applied for their liquor license that they had the axe throwing. And apparently it's allowed, but you have to have rules to have
To the
an
axe
axe
throwing.
throwing.
If you don't have rules or nothing else, people have rules when you're throwing axes and
But it
drinking.
said they lack lane monitoring.
Which means the axes was going everywhere.
So in other words, they have these long lanes and
There's a
throwing
target.
the axe right at the target. But people are walking across the lanes and ducking axes as they're coming.
Oh my goodness, there's no way. What?
I think I had to skip that bar, right?
I mean, I don't even know if I want to go to that bar.
No.
And there's no limit on how many axes you can throw. So a drunk gonna get up there. I can do all four.
Right. Let me ask you a question.
Right.
Oh, 2 points,
crazy.
right?
Oh my goodness. I mean, they just keep going. They just
Yeah.
keep going.
Keep going.
It was the one where the lady. This is one I just really could not really get my arms around. I mean, we love honey, right? We love honey,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And we know that honey comes from bees.
Right.
This took place in Florida. The guy is
No kidding.
The guy, him and his wife, right, have been beekeepers and they're that kind of thing. Well, for lack of a better phrase, she was upset with him, and apparently she was definitely the queen bee, because when he went to sleep and she took all of their little bees that would normally be. That's funny, would normally be in the little beehive, whatever, and put them into the bed. Unfortunately for her, of course, he woke up, jumped out of the third window, running from the bees, and he's in the hospital and he'll never walk again. And you know what
Wow.
she said?
Be sweet.
I did that because he was cheating on me.
Oh. Wow.
So, I'm trying to say that's another.
We can't
Right.
go through.
Hey man, let it be, man. Let it be.
This segment is called.
Right, exactly.
And we can't do this segment. The
The
first
justice it
segment,
deserves.
The first segment that we ever did this, we can't do it justice without including
Agent Orange.
Agent Orange.
Agent Orange is up.
Yes.
So
Yes, let's keep
this
going on
week
him.
they had the UN in New York, and
Oh, did you
Agent
see that?
Orange was scheduled to speak
In front of all of the what?
in front of all
The
nations.
world, United Nations.
And he was scheduled to speak second. However, he arrived late. Now he's from New York. He knows when the UN is in town, traffic's going to be hectic. hop on the train, right?
Right.
Get there.
You're the president,
get
dude.
There on
Stop
time.
traffic.
Yeah, get there.
Land on the roof.
He arrived late, so they had to put other speakers ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
So when he comes, one of the comments that he says is that since I've been elected, I've done more
In
in 2 years than any other president in the history of the United States, and the UN broke out laughing.
Like he was doing comedy
Right.
at the Apollo.
They just started laughing, and he said, "Well, I didn't expect that reaction."
Right.
Right.
Really?
Now, and here's another one. Here real quickly. Here's it. Just going along for Agent Orange.
Right.
He said, listen, this is before Florence, right? Okay. He said, look, down in North Carolina, it's going to be very wet, and it's going to rain a lot. Come on.
What was your first clue? Didn't they tell you that all
It's going to be
week?
wet, and it's going to rain.
Really?
What are you, Bessie Klinger? What are you, what, Dick Goddard?
He
Come
also
on.
said that steel is like the hottest industry. Steel? Really?
You have to heat that up to like 1,000,000 degrees to make steel. Oh my God.
The jokes just go on and on.
Oh, it's too many. It's just too many. You got one for us? You got one for us?
Let me find a good one.
Oh my goodness.
They all good, right?
Hold on. Here's one that he said. They're going to have to believe what they believe. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. What the blanket does that mean? Come on. I mean,
well, how about this
Wait a
one?
minute.
I have 145 judges that I'll be picking by the end of a fairly short period of time because President Obama wasn't big on picking judges. Wait a minute. Let's review. The Republican senators and the Congress blocked President Obama from picking the next
Supreme Court Justice. That's right.
Because they said he was going to be leaving office shortly.
And
That has never
145.
been done. And where did he get
145 from?
It ain't but 9 justices.
Wait, what you doing, huh?
What
Oh
is
my
he
goodness.
talking about?
Andrew, you see anything on there you like?
Well,
It's just too many to go from. We don't have enough time, but you can find one,
I
I'm
could
sure.
pick a woman, and she could have charges made from many years ago also. Really? From the Kavanaugh.
Oh my
so I'm
goodness.
just like,
Which tells you
really?
right there, that's an admission of guilt. That's an, huh? Oh my goodness.
This guy is something else. I'm just ashamed to say that. No, I'm not going to say it.
Wait, don't this
He's Agent Orange.
Agent Orange, yes,
One
yes,
more.
yes.
Now it's impossible. I'll hear that and I'll say, hey, I'm changing my mind. That's impossible. No, that's possible.
That's possible. You know,
Right.
it's almost comical
there we
when
go.
we look at that. We've been trying to show the lighter side of this all day. This is Mike. When you did research on this, can you tell everybody out there listening and on the show tonight what is that? What does that say there?
So the title of this is the 63 most outrageous lines from Donald Trump's Agent Orange New York press conference.
That's just one press conference.
This is just with the UN.
This
This isn't over the 2 years that he's been in office.
Yes.
Just the other day.
Yes.
2 whole years, and it's just been a spectacle.
Right.
It's a complete
just-
spectacle.
Like it's been 20.
Right,
Oh, my
right.
goodness. He said, I was accused by 4 or 5 women who got paid a lot of money to make up stories about me.
Yeah.
You
really.
can't make that up.
Right.
Now when you're trying to grab them by the blank, that's a
Right.
story without you
Right.
touching any of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Why
Hey,
would-
hey, listen, y'all. This has been a great show. I've really
Yes.
enjoyed it.
It has.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for tuning in again to
We've Got Issues.
Join us next week, same time, same sandbox. KAZ Radio. TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, Apple TV, and Roku.
Man, you're getting good at that, boy.
And as
Liking that.
always, let's close with
Let's go.
prayer.
And I want to thank Andrea Boggs for gracing us with her
Absolutely.
presence. Give her a round of applause out there.
Yeah.
Or we'll do as we do in the what do they do in the slam beats.
Right.
There we
love
go.
it.
Again, thank you, Andrea, for being on the show. Mike, take us out.
Father, we just thank you for today. We thank you for our show. We thank you for all those that have helped us grow this show and all that you're doing to take us where you want us to be. We ask for traveling grace and mercy tonight as we go to our appointed destinations. And as always, we'll be ever so careful to lift your name up in praise. Amen.
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 Remember, until next week, guys, make it a great day for you and make it a great day for someone else.
See you next week on
Peace
We
and blessings.
Got Issues.
Yeah.